Oh man, you guys, this glitch is so easy. I can't believe how stupidly easy this is. It took me so little time to learn how to do this glitch that is the progression in this seed. Maybe. It might turn out this is not required for progression, but I kind of hope it does. But part of what I have to do every time I end a recording session is I have to prepare Audacity and OBS for the next recording session. Like, Audacity has to go through a period of... it has to do some, like, pre-rendering and some audio stuff before it can start recording a new session. And by the time that was 40% done, I had already completed learning this glitch. And I was like, alright, Audacity, come on, catch up, brother. So, in the last episode, I showed you why we can't get through this room. Because these are speed blocks, and we don't have the speed booster. You need both the speed booster and the gravity suit to get through this room. Or, we're going to use Fred. I'm going to introduce you to Fred in just a minute. First, I'm going to turn off some stuff that I feel just kind of complicates things. So what we have just now is Plasma Ice Beam. You could do this with just the Ice Beam, but that's Fred. Fred is a Mocktroid. A Mocktroid is like a Metroid, like, genetic failure. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to free Fred from his pipe prison over there. We're going to roll over here under this platform, and we're going to let Fred start to suck out all of Samus's pink ball juices. While he's doing that, we're going to stand up, which is going to... Well, we're going to go into kneeling position. Samus actually has 3 positions on the ground. We're going to go from ball position, where she's 1 block high, to kneeling position, where she's 2 blocks high. And this is going to cause Fred to come up off the ground just a little bit. As he's doing that, we're going to poke him with my Ice Plasma Beam and freeze him. Then we're going to be stuck inside of Fred's solid hitbox. After which, we can jump and land on top of him, and we will be clipped partway through that platform. And if Samus is clipped into a solid platform in this game, she can basically just go through it. So, come on, Fred. Let's show the kids how it's done. How stupidly easy this glitch is. It's remarkable. That's it. That's the whole thing. For years, I thought this was like some super precise glitch, and I never bothered to practice it. Turns out it's like the easiest thing in the world. Easiest thing in the world. The only tricky part is going from the kneeling position to jumping on top. You kind of have to push jump and down at almost the same time, so Samus lands on top of Fred in the kneeling position. But having done that, no problems. No problems at all. Let's continue with this seed. What's up, Botwoon? Let's do it. I got so many super missiles. I basically don't care how often I miss you. That's 2. I think it takes 10 shots. It's 3, 4. That was a miss. 5. We're just throwing supers away at this point. I just don't need them. That was what? 7? 8? Should take 2 more. Botwoon's like, I saw what you did to Fred. He helped you get through that platform, and then you still killed him with your plasma beam. Like, well, yeah. Oh, you know what we should do, actually, is... duh. Turn our stuff back on. Wow, that's actually extraordinarily cool. I'm glad I know that glitch. It would still be my preference to just have the speed booster. Also, still my preference to not have Ice Beam turned on. But, I mean, it's pretty cool regardless. I'm glad I know that glitch now. Hey, I got some high jump boots now. Everybody say hi, jump boots. I decided against getting the spring ball, didn't I? Yeah, because it was down in the sand tunnel, and I kind of don't want to go through there. This room, you don't need speed booster to get through, because you can just do that. 46 supers. That's more than enough for Draygon. More than enough for Draygon. We can't get to... Okay, so what are we going to leave behind in Meridia? We're leaving behind the sand traps. There are a couple items in the big room that I don't think we can get until we can get through speed blocks. There's an energy tank that we can't get until we can get through speed blocks. Unfortunately, there's no Fred in those rooms to help us out. But I think a variant of that glitch is what you can use to skip the Zebetite barriers in Torian at the end of the game. Another glitch that I've never practiced at. Maybe I should. Maybe I should just learn it. Maybe it's, again, the easiest thing in the world. It's probably the exact same glitch. It's just you do it with a piece of Rinka Rain instead of an actual monster. In any event, we do have to kill Draygon anyway. We might as well do it now. But we have the Plasma Beam check, which is way out of the way. Well, the item in the Plasma Beam room, I should say. We already have the Plasma Beam and the Screw Attack, so we can easily get out of the room once we're in there. That's way out of the way, but I'm definitely not going to leave it behind. The Draygon fight's going to be the same as always. So, we know the 4 checks and the sand traps are not going to be useful, and we can't get the item in the spring ball location yet, so we don't have the grapple beam. So we're going to be leaving 1, 2 item, I think, and then 2 in the big room. So 4 total items we're going to be leaving behind. So if we really get desperate later, we can come back to Meridia with the speed booster and claim a few more items. I really want to see you throw some gunk at me, Miss Draygon. Are we gonna? We are. We are gonna. Oh, excuse you. Let me out. Okay. When Draygon grabs you like that, you gotta push the buttons. Like, you gotta do 200 controller inputs, whether they're D-pad inputs or whatever the case may be. And you can get a couple extra hits on her if you just get inside of her hitbox and aim the other direction. Although you can't do that without taking some damage, but we have plenty of energy for this Draygon fight. That was 2 cycles, but she could have dove faster at me. She could have cooperated better. We're actually running low on supers now, only 16. But usually in a vanilla run, this is where we're heading down to Lower Norfair. We might not be headed that direction. It depends on what we find next. And Draygon just had some Missy Isles. But with Draygon dead, I think the next step is to head up into the wrecked ship and look for the Varia up there. As far as I can tell, it's going to have to be up in that area, because where else could it be? We've cleared out Brinstar and Criteria. The only items we can get here... I guess we could find a grappling beam in the wrecked ship. We could find a grappling beam and then have to come here and check the spring ball location. We could find a speed booster and have to check one of the speed booster locations. It's also possible the speed booster is up there, and the trick that I just used at the beginning of the video is not in the logic at all. I suspect it is in the logic because it's such a well-known trick. Most speedrunners know how to do it. And it turns out it's extremely easy to execute. Like, that's easier than mockballing. That's easier than shine sparking, I think. Which is an intended actual move that Samus has. So yeah, let's head up to the wreck ship. After we check the plasma beam room, which is kind of on the way-ish. A little bit. Not really. But I'd rather check this now while we're in Meridia than wait until we're out of Meridia much, much later in the game and then have to come all the way back through. That would be absolutely monstrous waste of time. So, it's actually very invigorating being all the way in Meridia and not having speed booster. I do have high jump now, so I've got that going for me. And I think I explained the little gimmick I learned about the plasma beam in my Hundo series I just did, but the tracker I use tells me what items are reachable with the equipment I have, and it tries to be generous about it. In fact, I did the gauntlet very early in this run, the Criteria gauntlet, which I only had 300 health, which, because of the acid in that area, is not a lot of health. Doesn't allow for a lot of mistakes. And it turns out the tracker didn't want me to do that section of the game yet, which tells me that those checks weren't in logic, which tells me my screw attack was not in logic. But the tracker will highlight in yellow an item you can like reach with glitches or difficulty. And defeating Draygon is necessary to get into this room, but the plasma beam or the screw attack is necessary to get out of it. So, if you're playing a randomizer and you use the emo tracker that has the same color codes that I do, and you see yellow, don't think just because you've got Draygon beat and you can jump into that room and make that check. Even though it's way out of the way, why would you want to in the first place? The problem is, if you go in there and the item is not the plasma beam or the screw attack, and you don't already have one or both of those items, you are now stuck in that room eternally, for there is no other way to kill those pirates. This will take me all the way back down. Is there any reason to go back through the bottom of Pink Brinstar? I don't think there is. I think we just head straight up through to the wrecked ship. Actually, I can go in the back of the wrecked ship. Oh, this is going to be fun to show off. Let's see if I can actually remember the way. I don't think it's complicated. I think you just go up into the big tube. So, the way the wrecked ship works is when you get there, there's no power turned on. Everything's deactivated. You can't use save rooms. Most of the doors are gray and won't open. And the trigger for activating it all is killing Phantoon. So if you can manage to get into the back area of the wreck ship without killing Phantoon, you can see some bizarre changes. And in a vanilla game, if you're not in a randomizer situation where you get the items out of order, the way that you do that is going all the way through Meridia without a gravity suit. And it's not impossible. It's not even super difficult. It's just really tedious. And there are places you can actually get soft locked along the path. But basically, you make your way to the big pipe and come up here and go through this door and make your way up. This takes you to an elevator to Criteria. I'm going to safety save here, just in case something really dumb happens when I go upstairs. I don't expect anything really dumb to happen, but we are through the looking glass here, going up the wrecked ship back door, and I don't want to accidentally make the worst happen. So here we go. We're going up into a section of Criteria that most people don't see in their run, just because there's no items up here. And this is the fake entrance into Meridia. I did talk about it in the Hundo run. How you work your way through the wrecked ship, you come down to this area, you're kind of guided through there, because there's one area in the wrecked ship they want you to have the gravity suit before you go through. That was the area that I very stubbornly did not have the gravity suit when I went through, and I died to spikes. And now I've got to find the path through here, through this room. And I want to say up here, maybe? Actually, let's just use some power bombs. Maybe that'll help. Ah. Yeah, this looks right. Okay. But the idea is they send you down, because every new area in Super Metroid, up to this point, you've entered through an elevator. So you can reach this new area in the wrecked ship with your brand new shiny gravity suit. And you're thinking, oh, cool, so I can get to the area beyond the wrecked ship. And it's this last area of Criteria with this weird morph ball maze that's not trivial to navigate, although you should have the X-ray visor by then. And you find an elevator and it goes down to Meridia, and it's creepy and it looks different from everywhere else, and it's all underwater. And you end up back at the bottom of the map near the Brinstar Norfair crossover section, which is the true entrance of Meridia, but the game obfuscates that. Which I think is a great piece of world design and engineering, but some people think the glass tube entrance of Meridia is beyond the pale. Here we are in the wrecked ship. So this section of the wrecked ship... Oh, it is turned off. This might be a change in the randomizer then. I think this area of the wrecked ship is supposed to be activated because it doesn't have an off state by default. Because you should not be able to reach this area without killing... In fact, there's no item here. This place is just not loaded in properly. Or maybe that's it. Maybe maybe there is a dead version of this room, and the dead version of the room doesn't have the item in it. Maybe that's it. In any event, we're in the wrecked ship. We're coming in from the wrong direction. See, I think In fact, there's not even any water in these rooms. These spikes aren't going to be activated. This is the room where we died in the Rando run. Because this door here, when we go through it, it's going to turn gray. Yeah, we can't get back through there. So. Oh, wait a minute. We should check this. What do we got here? Just looking for the Varia suit now. We have so many super missiles. It is donkey how many super missiles we have. We're up to 70.
Shoutouts to Eurixia for sponsoring this video. If you liked the video and you want to see more, please tickle my thumb, leave a friendly comment, and ring my little bell.